Hello friends, welcome to Java Tutorials. In this video, we will talk about some of the properties which basically uh, some of the basically operators that can be used to test various properties associated with the Linux file or directory, right? So here you can see I have created a file. Is called file test operators.sh. Indicates that it's a shell scripting file, and here I'm going to show you some of the operators basically in Linux which is used to check properties regarding a file or directory, right? So here I'm going to use basically first of all I'm going to write cbang, and then I will write bin, and here I'm going to use bash or shell, but whatever properties we are going to look over here, that should work for the other shell as well, whether you work for the bash shell or corn shell or some other shell. Most of the properties are valid for other shells as well, right? So here first of all I'm going to take input from the user, right? I will write here read command to take input from the user, and here I'm going to use a p flag, and I will prompt a message. I will tell the user please enter file name, sorry guys, file name, something like this, right? And this message will prompt, and that file name whatever user is going to enter, that I will save into a variable is called file name. Okay, now this variable I'm going to take decision. So here I'm going to use a very simple condition, if condition, and here I will first of all I'll check whether this file is a directory or file, right? So there are a couple of ways you can check it. There is an operator is called basically -d to check whether a given file is a directory or not. There is another flag is called -f to check given file name is a file or directory, file or not, right? So here I'm going to use -d flag, and here I'm going to provide this input what I'm taking from the keyboard, and here don't forget to provide std here. uh, after big bracket open, you should give a space, and here also you have to give a space, else this is going to be problematic. Yeah, so now here if given input is a directory, then it is going to print in echo, right? I'm going to print in echo in double quotes. I'm going to print this message. I will take this file name which is provided by the user, right? And I will take it dollar file name is a directory, right? Directory, right? Sorry guys, directory. Else what even happen here, you have to write of course then if this becomes true, right? If this is a file, then this is going to print whatever input. Let's say you are going to take a name as test, then test is a directory. Else this guy is going to print echo message this is a file. Yeah, pretty simple, right? And finally this if is going to be and, right? So and also you have to write in Linux. Pretty simple. If input is a directory, then this is going to print that input name is a directory, else input name is a file. Pretty simple, right? And file is going to be and. Let me execute this one. Apart from this, apart from -d or -d, we'll see lot more operator, but here let me run this script. To run this script, you have to write period and then /, then file script name. So that is file test operator.sh. So it is asking me to supply the file name. So file name I'm going to specify test.sh, and this is telling test.sh is a file, right? Let me show you. See, my terminal is pointing in the in this directory shell script. If I go to the shell script directory, let me show you shell script directory. Sorry guys, shell script directory. This is the shell script directory. Sorry. So I'm going to here, and here is the shell script directory. This is a directory, and here I have basically a file is called test.sh, right? I have one folder. It is nothing but in a Unix world, folder is nothing but a directory. So I'm going to specify this name. Let's say what message gets printed. So here I'm going to run this guy again, and at this time I'm going to specify folder. This is a directory, right? If I run, then this is saying this folder is a directory, right? That means this piece of code is working perfectly fine. Let's move ahead and see what else we can check, right? So next thing I'm going to check, just I'm going to copy this guy, just I'm going to copy and paste. Next property, of course, here also you can use -f, and dash will check whether given input is a file or not instead of -d. -d means that is basically used to check given input is a directory or not, and -f means given input is a file or not, right? That you can try yourself. Apart from that, I can check read permission, whether whatever file input we are taking from the user, so that will see whether we have a read permission or not, right? Using this flag -r. So here I could print here this file name has, if that is the case, then has read permission, right? Permission. Else, if this returns false, then I will print this file does not have read permission. Pretty simple. Similarly, we can check for write operation. We can check -w, right? And here you have, of course, you have to write permission, and instead of read you have to give the write. Similarly, if you want to check given file or directory has execute permission or not, then you can use using this of -x operator you can use, and here you can see has execute permission. If this returns false, that means does not have execute permission, right? And last but not the least, I would like to talk about let's say I'm going to copy and paste. Last, I would like to talk about, let's say if you want to check whether any file or directory exists with this name or not in current directory, right? Then you can use a flag is called e means exist. So whether this will test for the any directory as well as file as well, right? So I will write if this exists, that means I will write this exists, right? Else I will write this doesn't exist, yeah, does not exist, yeah. So I have written a lot of stuff. Now let me run. Now I'm going to run. Okay, so let me run. Before running, let me check one file. Let's say I'm going to test for this. I'm going to ls -l, and I'm checking what are the permissions are allowed for test.sh. So test.sh. So I'm running as this user JDBC Tutorials, right? So user has read, write, and execute permission, all these permissions, right? So if I run this script, right, and file name I'm going to specify test.sh, then see what are. So first of all, it is checking test.sh is a file which is coming because of this piece of code. It is detected as file, it is not directory, so else part is executed, and this is printing test.sh is a file. Then after, it is checking whether this file has write permission or not, read permission or not. So it is printing has a read permission. then same has a write permission or not. So this is saying that has write permission. Then finally we are checking whether it has execute permission or not. So it is printing execute permission, it has execute permission, right? And finally this exists as well, this file exists, so this is checking existence of any file or directory. Let's say I'm going to check same for a directory, right? So here let me execute this, and here at this time, as already I have shown you, I have one directory is called folder. So now first piece of code is basically saying that it is a directory, right? And that's how we get the output. Then it has a read, write and execute permission, and of course this directory exists, and that is detected by this piece of code, right? Let's say let me check what are the permissions are allowed on this directory. To check that one, you have to write ls minus ld. D stands for L stands for long listing and D stands for directory, and our directory name is nothing but the folder, right? Now here you can see D stands for it is a directory, and next three characters represent this user has a read, write and execute permission. Let's say I'm going to revoke write permission. After that I'm going to run this piece of code, right? So here I'm going to use chmod, and minus x means I'm going to not x but write permission we have to revoke. So write permission I'm going to revoke from user, group as well as other user, and of course we need to specify the directory name, so that is nothing but the folder. Now if I do lsld, then this is showing now write permission is revoked or removed from the user, group as well as other user. Now I'm going to run this script and say what output we get, right? So I'm going to run this script and I'm going to enter our directory name. So it is saying it is a directory, read permission, it has a read permission, it does not have write permission because write permission we have removed, and that's the reason it is showing folder does not have write permission, but it has execute permission, right? And this is a basically this folder exists, right? So that's all I wanted to show in this video tutorials, guys. So these are the flags you should remember. Dash D for to check whether given input is a directory or not. If you want to check for a file, then dash F you have to use. Similarly for read, write and execute permission, these are the operators we have. And finally, if you want to check whether given input exists as a file or directory or not, then you can use dash E, right? So that's all I wanted to discuss in this video tutorial, guys. Big thank you for watching this video, and see you there in the next video tutorial.